Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic evening of Team Fortress TV here on the Team Fortress TV Twitch channel. It's your boy TurboTabs, and I'm not alone. No siree. I am joined by Beta on production, and I'm also going to welcome in Meer into the co-cast. I think that's our first time casting. Meer, how's it going?
I think it's been a long time coming, TurboTabs, and finally we're here to take Team Fortress TV by storm, make a name for ourselves. We'll be the next duo. We'll be like fish and chip.
Oh, that's the spirit. Well, I've got the next big duo right here in the competition itself, here in this ETF2L season. Is it 36? 36, I see on the league table matchup. And what a season it's been so far. Obviously, we're not going to go through the entire 38. Then someone needs to change the title on this old stat page. Either way, anyway, season 38, Premiership. I thought it was 38 as well. But yeah, it's a season that has been long-standing, long-going. 7 weeks have passed, and more weeks have passed even further because we're in our playoff stage here, Mia, and we have almost made it towards the end as we are now in the lower bracket final. There's no more second chances here. It's going to be spent here tonight, and these two teams that I've been, just delaying for, it's going to be top5rocket versus Faint Gaming EU. Are you hyped?
Of course I am. Of the top three, this is where everyone wants to be because this is where you're in on the money. Both these teams now guarantee prize money, which is pretty epic, but we know they do it for the passion. It's been quite a sort of polarizing season. A couple of teams returning after sort of slight escapades, coming back into the season, perhaps rising to glory, falling from favor. And it's these two teams along with Nerd Rage that have come up trumps, and they're battling it out for the coveted spot in the grand finals versus Nerd Rage.
Now, I bet it's feeling quite deja vu at this point because I feel like, yeah, I'm sure I've covered these teams and I'm sure people have watched this before, but it's because you're right. We have covered these two teams. They did meet up in the first round of the playoff, or obviously they played at some point during the TF2L season as well. So they've got a lot of kind of dirt on each other to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to play against each other. I've even seen the very games myself with my own eyes and my own voice, but just to remind people out there which of these two teams are, let's go through the rosters as we always like to do. We'll start off with top5rocket because I'm a Frenchy lover. So over on the top5rocket squad, we've got Moolah on Medic, Elacor, the star man himself on Demoman, Korvac will be playing that Pocket Soldier, Duo will be playing that Roaming Soldier, and Neo and QB are playing their scout classes respectively. I'm not even going to have the clout to predict who's the pocket scout or who the flank scout is. I think I'm just going to embarrass myself otherwise. But if in the meantime, though, Mia, list off those Faint Gaming players just so I don't show complete favoritism in this matchup.
So Medic is going to be Vanny, long-termer Swede, coming into it. Certainly a veteran for his team. Mac on the Demoman. Pocket's going to be Hugo. Roaming for Faint today, it's Opti. The two scouts coming in, pairing up, is going to be Yeehaw and Voxy, i.e. Vox Tech. So some pretty beefy rosters, a lot of history behind them. Going to look to make their mark in this game here.
Now, the reason I kind of swiftly went past top5rocket as quickly as I did, Mia, is because I want to talk about these two scouts in particular. While we were kind of flicking through the papers in the back here, waiting for our cast to get started, we noticed a few interesting things on the little stat page, and we even made a nice, unique head-to-head. I'm pretty sure we've never really done this before, but we're going to do a head-to-head with Voxy versus Yeehaw. That's right, you're hearing me correct. We're doing a head-to-head of the same team, of the same scout pair. Whoa. And the reason I want to draw your attention, all of Twitch chat, is because Yeehaw, I'm not sure if you've been living on a rock or anything, this guy's known for his stats. He's like a stat beast. Everyone praises how well and efficient this guy is, but this Voxy guy, he's outdoing him, Mia.
He certainly is. I mean, they're looking pretty toe to toe. You're really going to struggle to differentiate a flank and pocket looking at those stats there. And a pretty impressive season coming out of the both of them there. They're real sort of stalwarts for Faint Gaming, and yeah, putting up huge numbers throughout.
I mean, the only thing I really can put a question mark or kind of give a quick clap to Yeehaw is he's got more air shots than Voxy somehow. I Beta took a swing and guessed that maybe that's a pyro reflect or something happening during one of these last defenses, but yeah, I mean, Voxy, who knows? Maybe I I mean, I always assumed he was good, but I didn't think he was like blazing to the top of the stats range on out of these two scout pairs. He's really making waves here.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, as I said, you really cannot tell them apart based on those stats, and I think they're going to be really crucial to Feint's game plan coming into this best of three here.
All right, so obviously it's all fun and games doing the whole Yeehaw versus Vox Tech, but is there two teams here? Does it look like it's a case of being outclassed between these two teams here, or is it actually quite even and one might expect me here?
I mean, these guys have gone toe to toe many a time this season. I believe in their regular season games, they took a map each, and then coming into playoffs, the first round, I believe you casted yourself.
Hmm.
They Feint took it over two maps, but they were pretty close games, just one round between the two. And I believe the last round on Sunshine, which is going to be the first map we're seeing here, was nabbed within the last 30 seconds. So
Oh,
I can imagine we will be seeing another close one. Both of them opted to play it a little bit slowly,
hmm.
but it was a good bit of back and forth.
Yeah, you've got the numbers right, but the facts slightly skew. I think Metalworks was the one that was just won in the last 30 seconds, but it's actually going to be just a Metalworks-less playoff, it seems, as we are going to continue with Sunshine. First Sunshine will be our first map in this lower bracket final of these two teams, top 5rocket, Feint Gaming, and we're just getting started underway now. In their previous matchup, they did win.
Oh, we're
Feint
live.
Gaming. Yeah, we're live. Where Feint Gaming did win this map on their Sunshine map, but I don't think we'll be playing against Metalworks in the later on. Anyway, that's for later. We'll go in straight into our Sunshine map, and already Elacor being pressured, the star player taken out of this mid already, and they have to pick up the pieces here over on top 5rocket. They even lose poor Moolah, so they can keep Vanny alive on the rest of Feint Gaming. He's dodging
Oh
all
my
these
god.
scout bullets so much. The man is Neo, and not a single scout can lay a scattergun onto him. So with Vanny keeping himself alive, not only have they won the mid, but they can likely win the round here, Meer.
Yeah, that was phenomenal initiation out of Opti there. He really got in Feint's face and disrupted them pretty early. And Vanny's survivability there was just excellent. He was doing Ringer Ranger Rosie and avoided 3 separate targets at the start of that mid. So really solid start from them. And top 5 now, Feint now mounting a push onto second, looking their way into last with a 60% Uber advantage.
It's got to be difficult, top 5rocket. Not only have you started off the round like this, but you're given an Uber advantage away into. This could be some very clean TF2 we're seeing here. We're already popping in as they're trying to push out and destroy the sentry gun now. It's done its job though. It's delayed a bit of that Uber charge, and now they have to try and rotate round and just find any sort of picks that they can. The Uber charge has run out, so they're trying to kind of taking this out. And look at the defense and the collapse coming out from top 5rocket. Everything going according to plan finally in the last point of this map.
Yeah, it looks like Feint just lacking a little bit of intel there. They got completely infatuated with that gun upon coming in there, and it completely obliterated their Uber, sort of sullying their chances as top 5 were just so far away on that last point. So they've managed to get out of last pretty cleanly here, looking sort of into mid, seeing Feint holding pretty passive, just sort of waiting for the next move. They've got 70% Uber charge under their belt as it stands, and they're sort of meandering their way now into their own cafe, but Hugo awaits above.
Yeah, they are trying to just take things as slow as possible and just hope that they can't get forced here. They will lose duo on the kind of push out, and this is not going according to plan. They actually decide to back out from choke. They don't want to commit to push despite having a full Uber charge up. I feel like, I mean, to each their own, but an Uber charge advantage doesn't really come by commonly in these lower bracket finals, Mia.
Yeah, it looked like Feint as soon as top 5 took that space. They've sent 3 players into Valley just to pressure, and top 5 just sort of buckled under that pressure and receded. Didn't want to waste that Uber advantage, but of course now it has equalized, and Shu's very much on the other foot now as Feint are looking into the second of top 5rocket. Now just exchanging a bit of spam, waiting for a bit of initiation, of course. Moolah in position there to both go forward and also quite a tantalizing target for Feint if they want to try and get a decent sack in. They've stacked a few players into Cafe now, but it looks like they're just sort of counting their chickens, waiting to make their next move.
All right. While we're all counting chickens here, Neil, which particular chicken should we be looking at? Who are the known notable names between these two squads? Oh, no time to talk about it. Opti's already jumping in. He's trying to take out Callback, who kind of caught himself a bit of spam, maybe just a little bit of leeway, and plus he was just right in the arms of Opti there, so he just goes for the easy kill instead. But I was going to ask who are the well-known players that usually break up these stalemates, but Opti answered that question for you, Mia.
I mean, I think breaking into a second that's as open as Sunshine is really got to be a bit of a team measure. You need the pressure coming in. Of course, Opti and Hugo, I think, are real masters at that. They're excellent at making space one another, faking each other out, and coming in from angles you wouldn't quite expect. So I can imagine with a bit of head scratching, a bit of a reset, the spawner coming out, we can see something a little bit different in this perhaps
Whoa, whoa.
second attempt for Feint.
Excuse me, breaking news. I must have like a bug in my ear because I swear Peter just said to me like Opti's running the man treads. Am I wrong? Am I right?
It
No way.
looks to be true.
Well, I'll be damned. Let's see if we see some squishing and oh, he actually gets somewhat close to him, but isn't able to plant his feet down on top of Mueller's head. So he will be alive for the time being, but I think he's mainly just banking on that no knockback ability. He just wants to go blazing in like a cannonball on top of poor Moolah. Oh, nice set of pipes coming out from Mac here. They will get forced from all the pressure, but with 3 players down, you can just call this forced Uber a good Uber. Moolah even popped his Uber during all of the excitement, and they're just chasing out all the poor top 5 rocket players that have been left on this map. It's only looking like top 3 right now as they're pushing already to last. It's turned into a top 5 now as everybody's come back from the respawn queue, and Feint, they're feeling a little bit too hot about this. They're just going to back off and be happy that they've got second.
Yeah, unfortunately the cap time not quite there for them. They couldn't catch those players out in lobby just in time, so top 5 had a bit of time to fortify their defenses, get their spawners up, but it looks like they're not saying never just yet. They are all in this lobby area, just trying to pressure Feint a little bit, tickle them, but do eventually elect to back to last here. So there's going to be a battle of the build here. Both Feint and top 5 just getting their sort of fortifications up, looking to go into last and get some initiation here.
I can't think of a more frustrating scenarios when you're an engineer and you're just hammering away your sentry gun, and all you have to do is communicate with your team like, can somebody get rid of that soldier for the love of God? He has disappeared though, and they've actually brought out Pyro to maybe defend a bit of that sentry gun as well. It's going to be actually moved here, Mia.
Thankfully, QB's gun survived the test of time and is completely denied Opti's bomb on the subject of it. Mac does manage to pick it off, but he commits him pretty deep. It goes down to QB's great gun. 2 players advantage now to top 5, and are they going to be mounting a push here? It's equal Ubers, and Feint just going to have to play the high ground and hope to pressure the Uber charge out of top 5 here.
Yeah, Callback, he's got some nice fortifying damage to start off the fight, but nobody's really in from top 5 Rocket, and they've just blobbed up over on Feint Gaming. I think they're more than happy then to blob up like this. They've actually gotten proactive, popped off the Uber, forced it out of Moolah, and now you're in a difficult place if you're top 5 Rocket. It's so hard to push out with this sort of massive bearing wall into second point without an Uber charge. So already, just by these 2 Ubers being popped, they've forced the top 5 Rockets handy and they have to back out. Mac though being pressured but not going down.
Yeah, just not giving top 5 the positioning they wanted. They couldn't close that cap out, and Feint now pulling up Yeehaw on the sniper. Looks like they've had a bit of a changing game plan of how they want to try and bust into the last of top 5 Rocket. It's been pretty successful thus far. They've got Dwo hiding up on the boxes, providing a bit of support to Elacor here. Just waiting for Feint to sort of make the move here. It is 0-0, so neither team sort of too keen to go for some aggressive plays, try and get in nice and quick, but looks like we're going to see something just now.
Duo, he was trying to, I guess, smell out the sniper. Thought this would be the best time to pop around the corner, but it was ill-timed. Callback, though, has his back. Takes out Yeehaw, doesn't even get a major headshot off on anybody, so he's going to go back to the land of the dead. As top 5 Rocket, they'll be well impressed to make a push out here.
I must say I clenched my butt cheeks a little bit there as Mac had a set of stickies above the left side on last, and 3 people were under it at the same time, and nobody spotted it. But thankfully for them, it didn't get in time, so Top 5 have opted for this spy man now. Feint, of course, pulling up Yeehaw once again on the sniper, looking to make some moves. Trying to pressure this right side lobby area, make him a little bit of room.
He may be Spy-Man, but is he Superman? Can he get the Wonder Pick and save the day? Yeehaw, though, as the time is ticking away, he's getting more headshots per second. Oh, he gets a headshot onto the Engineer. Not a pick we see every day, and with Duo going down, this is definitely an opportunity to push. He's going to be hard-pressed, though, to take out... There we go. The sentry gun does go down. Yeehaw goes down as well. Elikor was spamming him out. They do have a banner in the works for Feint Gaming while all of this was going off, so they have plan on top of plans here for Feint Gaming. They throw Opti in, get the force out onto Moolah. It seems like plan B has worked out. The Opti jump has forced out, and Feint Gaming now, they just need to hold this second point from an arm's reach, and they should be looking golden for the last push.
Yeah, the banner has been popped off. That is the sort of war signal that Feint are going to start looking to bust in. Of course, they do have a 60% Uber advantage. They're all in lower, and the Uber is coming straight out here. Mac is going so deep behind this point. They want to get that gun. Taking a lot of position. Top 5 rocket just in their spawn right now, and it's a bit of a melee here.
Yeah, Mac has got a nice little foothold on this right-hand side door, and it just lets all of the rest of Feint Gaming work, and they can't get out of that poor little tiny left-hand door quick enough, as they just get minced on arrival. So nice, clean sort of force coming out from Opti there, leading to the win.
Yeah, playing a bit of long con there. Hugo's banner really putting in a good shift there. The damage reduction, obviously, really huge, particularly in those drawn-out fights. So, going to roll out to our second mid now. We are 10 minutes into the match, and it looks like it might be a little bit of a fast one coming out of top 5.
Callback. He's wasting no time. Straight on top of Mac, though. He's unaware, though. He was like, huh? What? Sorry? Okay, whatever. And he's just carrying on like he never really realised the fly buzzing around him. So, with the Demoman advantage kind of in the... Well, actually, there is no Demoman advantage. Both of these teams are rocking the Demoman, but there's more of a man advantage over on Feint Gaming, and just from that early suicide from Callback. So, they're just going to play it back over on top 5 rocket. Play out second. They have their Demoman, so they can slow down this push or momentum to a crawl.
Of course, yeah, Feint. Though we're pretty early into this game, they're in the position they want to be. One round up, they sort of control the pace, but it looks like they're not too keen to stand about, and they send Hugo straight in for a bomb. Hits a nice direct onto the Scuds, but ultimately not enough to get the force out of Moolah there. So, gonna be a bit of a return from top 5 as they're making their way through choke. Sent a distraction through behind in the form of Kobak, and Dwo also in and managed to get Vanny. That's a huge opening. That was a drop.
It's a real shame as well, because they've got Opti in all the way behind. He will maybe get this backstab here. Oh, he whiffs it. Actually goes a bit over past Moolah and couldn't get the backstab lined up. They do force out the Uber just from the commotion of Opti attacking from behind and Yeehaw attacking from the front. So, I mean, mission accomplished in a weird way.
I mean, ultimately, you know, top 5 coming out on top of that, but a good sort of recovery attempt out of Feint there. They have got their spawners up now, but they're going to be a bit slow, so top 5 going to look to capitalise pretty early. But Mac managing to pick off Elikor at the apex of that fight. It's really going to be a good start, and Duo going down to the sinker trap does soil top 5's chances, and they're just going to have to scrabble their way out here back to mid.
God, Mac did so much work there for Feint Gaming, holding on to that second point. It was quite brave of them to just stand their ground, really, and despite Ubers being such a all over the place and player numbers being what they were. But yeah, so they managed to hold the line and recover from it. They've got the midpoint back. The Ubers have gone back to normal for both of these teams, so it's going to be up on Feint Gaming to see what they can make happen on this second point.
Yeah, of course, both the soldiers out of top 5 now return to the fray, and we're seeing a very similar position. It's the coveted second push. Again, just waiting for a bit of movement out of either team, waiting for someone to initiate. Of course, top 5 on the back foot as it stands, but a lot of time left in this first map here. So we'll have to see whether they can bang their heads together and come up with something.
Well, Feint Gaming have to bang their heads just a little bit lighter, because they're feeling good. They've got one round up. When it comes down to it, if they just play the waiting game, they will eventually win this map. So they're feeling a bit cushy right now. I mean, I know it's gentleman's agreement. Usually, the team that's controlling mid wants to push second, but they don't have to necessarily.
It looks like they want to invoke a bit of chaos. They send 2 players behind in lower. Yeehaw managing to pick up 2, but eventually does get picked off by Neo. But what that's done is create excellent space for Feint to get in through this choke area. We might be seeing a trade here, but Feint really not healthy as top 5, raining some spam down on them. Feint gonna have to call it off there. But a real good attempt to sort of breach the defense of top 5 by Opti and Yeehaw. They're ultimately not coming good this time around.
It's impressive how much imposing force Neo brings as soon as he turns up to choke. Doesn't need much time at all to kind of get back to defending. He just seems to be like, okay, I've quickly dealt with the fire behind, I'm dealing with the fire at front. The man just seems to be a force to be reckoned with.
Quite interesting, we're seeing yet another spy. I've not seen this much spy gameplay in a Prem game for quite some time. It's QB this time though, a bit of change of pace. I love to see it. Seemingly playing a bit of a long con here as Feint themselves sort of operating in this
and
cafe.
No! Oh, you ever been damaged by a rocket jump? Say it ain't so. This is why you don't see too many spies going for those soldier picks. I mean, not only are they not worth much, but yeah, they sometimes just shoot the ground accidentally.
Yeah, unfortunate for them. Some tragic timing.
Foxy, get out of here! I don't care how many stats you have. I don't care how many head-to-heads you win. You can't possibly deal with an Elocore pipe like that. God, what a kind of turnaround bitch slap that was.
Yeah, a bit of disrespect from Foxy returned by Elocore there. Pretty impressive from him, and top 5 managing to seal out the midpoint eventually. I suppose their spy play ultimately coming good, you could say. And it looks like they want to not slouch about going to the second now.
Oh, the soldiers, they're doing mincemeat of this top 5 rocket lineup. They're trying to enter choke and they're just doing these double bombs around. Max even getting in on the action as well. Will actually go down to these scouts that are just buzzing around annoyingly. And would you believe it, despite all that pressure and that nice damage, Feint Gaming dropped one by one, except for Mr. Stats himself.
Yeah, but Foxy is in the back lines. They're fully aware of him, and he might just be enough to stop top 5 from aggressing further forward. They really want to shut him down first. They know how much of a nightmare Foxy can be once he manages to make his way behind. So top 5 in shutting him down secure themselves a 70% Uber advantage, and I can imagine that they're going to want to make their way into last pretty sharpish, being 1 round down as it stands.
Are they going to feel rushed though? Are they going to repeat the same mistakes? They pop out early knowing that they've got a sniper to deal with, and they're trying to get on top of Mac, but Mac is just holding the S key, making it difficult for them, dodging around all the aggression, and they're trying to pick up what pieces they can instead, but the pieces are fighting back, Meer, and it hurts so much. Hugo, a piece has got behind and doesn't quite get the huge flank that he's hoping for. A pipe landing on Vanny during all of the chaos. Everybody wants to share a bit of damage between these Feint players here, and yeah, they have defended successfully, but they haven't made the push out.
Yeah, top 5 ultimately getting into that last. It just took them a little bit too long to shut down the demo soldier, and then the heavy chunked up 450 came out of nowhere and completely blasted the remaining players there. So top 5 in spite of that have managed to secure second, but Feint are looking to return with a nice quick Uber charge.
Oh man, they really wanted to get as far with that Uber before having to pop it. They opted to go underground, but it's just such a telegraphed push. Once you know that they're coming from there, you can't really chase them too hard, and here comes the counter-attack. They have popped up the Uber on the doors, trying to just chase them out before they can get back to last, but they just throw Opti in. He's the sacrificial lamb that allows Feint to back off and regroup here, and they're feeling confident. They want to push in. Elocore's down.
Yeah, I certainly would feel a bit more chipper seeing Elocore being down. He's had a pretty huge impact on the game thus far, and it also seems to be enough for Feint to want to go in with 1 man down. And, oh my god, Cormac completely deletes.
Oh my god!
Hugo. You hate to see it, and that's completely squashed it.
Oh god, if Elocore hit them with the backhand, like that was like a double slap coming out from Cormac there, it just makes it look all the more impressive. So, oh my god, players, calm down. They really want to just like outplay each other, just these unexpected air shots and denials in the air. So it's gone back the other way, and it's so stylish from both of these teams here.
Yeah, top 5 rocket ultimately in the fallout of that, losing both of their soldiers now. They are coming up on spawns, but Feint are already sort of putting their foot in the door of mid now, applying a bit of pressure to top 5, but ultimately opting not to tempt it this time around. So again, TurboTabs, a very similar position. We've got the second stalemate.
Well, this time though, top five Rockets want to be in a proactive situation. They want to be the ones to dictate a bit more pace of the game here because they are down that one round. I know it doesn't feel like it, but that one round has been excruciating for them before. They want to just even that bad boy out, despite even having 10 minutes left on the game timer. So Korbach, let's see what he's got cooked up. He's going to be the one jumping in, clearly. He's gone on top. He hates Mac with an absolute passion. And, oh, Mac actually turning it around. They go for the double soldier play. Korbach, though, makes it so it's only one soldier sacrifice, but not the plan there.
Yeah, Korbach, thankfully in that. Though they were unable to secure a frag, he managed to survive within an inch of his life. And it does mean that his team could hold a little bit better on that one, but Feint are looking just to apply more and more pressure. Elocore ultimately picking on Foxy there does swing the scales the other way.
No, Hugo! He was waiting for the pack, or he was waiting for a crossbow, one or the other, but it didn't come in time. Elocore picks him off, and he's already pressuring the scouts out of this area.
Oh,
Duo shoots Mac, gets the last final arrow into the man that pierces his heart, and now they're lacking a demo man for this defense. They can just already go into last. Sure, there's a heavy weapons guy. Oh, actually, they do get pick off Neo, but the rest of the scouts that were capping that second point to hit and arrived, they probably could have popped in a bit earlier, but they force out the Uber instead and hold on to their own. Even a bigger 5-head gameplay coming out from top 5 Rocket here. Hugo's going aggressive. He's right on top of the medic. Mueller will be forced to pop off here, and because they tried to kite that Uber so much, they had no position to really fight back with their own counter pop now.
Yeah, the force just came so far back. You've got to think top 5 maybe should have been a bit close with that. They should have seen something like that coming, and the collapse just would have been that little bit better there. But seeing a pretty equal situation again for top 5 want to keep initiating.
Oh, was that an actual denial onto Korbach there? That was really nice. Elocore will get the pick onto Opti, so it's just a trade at the end of the day, but both of these teams lacking an Uber charge. They've got plenty of time, but it feels like they're pushing like they've got 30 seconds left on the clock. Duo's going to go down as well. There's no even Ubers to force out here, so I don't know what kind of gameplay they're trying to make.
Yeah, I mean they're fully aware of Feint being one round up. You know, they're going to play for insurance. They want to keep that one round advantage, so they're not going to push out on a whim. They're quite happy to keep the clock ticking. They've got 9 minutes remaining, and they just want top 5 to sort of slip up, and then they're just going to wait and pounce on it. So Feint pretty contented on this last point, and we do see Neo from top 5 pulling up the sniper to try and make something happen here.
You've heard of Neo's dodging bullets, but have you heard of Neo's giving bullets? Let's see how this man marks up on sniper. He's got good company. Yeehaw is also playing sniper, and they're going to feel a bit of pressure just by each other being on the map alone. Who's got the fastest fingers first, though? And Optic, wow, okay, you don't see this every day as well. Meer, they've got Kimbo Battalion's backup.
I mean, this is you know, the ultimate sniper counter, because the headshots are, you know, severely reduced there. And it's certainly going to eliminate a little bit of threat, and the pop does come out, Korbach goes down, and of course that little bit of buff on Vanny just makes it a little bit harder for him to get forced. Hugo applying a bit of pressure to Elocore, who does manage to slip out in the lower area, and Feint just looking to tickle top 5 on this second point.
Oh my god, they're hungry. I think they really wanted to find the Elocore kill there, but end up coming across Mueller instead, who is forced to use his Uber charge, so that's added another delay for top 5 Rocket. They have lost Mac and Optiar, but Yeehaw goes down to the sniper as well, so now this could actually be considered an okay push. Sure, they force out the Uber, but they can kite this, they can rotate round here. Hugo knows this, he wants to commit into the lobby area and get on top of them from behind and just stop that early rotation around the pace. Just get proactive with his defense. Opti goes down again. The poor boy just came back to life, and now he's gone back and down again. Hugo's got another banner going. That's just how much damage and damage he's taken during all of this as well. He pops it off just to kind of slow the pace of this game down just a little bit. Top 5 Rocket are in the driver's seat right now, despite all of Feint Gaming glowing. Top 5 Rocket will lose Neo though, and he's been quite crucial in these sort of skirmishy, messy little fights. And they still want to push in, though. They've got an overcharge advantage. Is an overcharge advantage. They're pushing in right now. I don't think they even have a sentry gun fully up to deal with this. Well, not anymore. It's been taken out. Point pressure's being made. Soldiers are lining all over the point as well. Callback will go down. What is the play for top 5 rocket? Actually, Mac getting greedy. Mac Daddy will go down, and he's going to pay the price with no Doorman. Pick a door, any door. You can go through it. They've got their own Doorman over on top 5 rocket. They're trying to just get through any stinking door, but people keep coming back from the grave. Pressure the point. Sticky's on point. This is it. They finally get the round. Top 5 rocket had to sweat. They had to work, but they earned it.
Yeah, that was a bit of a sloppy one. I think they could have got it a little bit sooner, but QB got flashed at the worst time imaginable. The constant churning of the banners out of Feint certainly made things a bit muddy, and Hugo ultimately couldn't answer the call in the 1v3, understandably so. So Top Rocket equalise it now, 6 minutes remaining, and it's 1-1 coming into this third mid.
Oh, Opti. Fast rollout, trying to get on top of a soldier all sly-like. Won't really meet the air shots though, and instead it's about a little bit of pressure game. See who can kind of pressure out the initial spam and then play off the damage. Feint will actually go first, and the defense is looking so much grander over on top 5 rocket here. Position though is looking a bit more Feint favoured, however. Duo will actually equalise that out, get the pick onto both of these soldiers, so it's going to be hard for Feint Gaming to play off the damage here, as they've got nobody to really commit into the fight and lay that massive big bit of damage. Yeehaw plucks damage out of his arse though, just gets on top of poor Duo, who was had his eyes turned. Mac is kind of disconnected from the rest of his squad and just trying to cut off losses. I think Playing Gaming have actually had so much time pass, they popped an Uber and kind of encouraged Mac to come back to his team. Top 5 rocket, when the dust settles, they're down 3 players.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting trade there. They just could not get onto Vanny in that choke area once top 5 popped that Uber charge. Counter came out, and then they just got a bit crushed by it because they were so close. And Feint looking to roll with the momentum here. They're straight into last.
Oh my god, oh my, and they're in as well, without any sort of major pressure, so they're just playing each other's hearts, each other's sides. They have claimed second point now, and they can start going in, but Hugo's going to have to bite off a lot here to kind of make things work. A lot of point pressure. They're actually just going to win it outright from that point pressure and that sort of dry push.
Yeah, classic playoff trope. You've always got to be one round up. So Feint put their return on the board pretty quickly. There was that sort of a minute and a half round. Yeah. Certainly a change in pace, really rolling with the momentum compared to what we've seen thus far. So top 5 gonna have to try and replicate that level of success in these next 4 minutes if they want a chance at a gold cap.
He's like, I want Mac dead, and Mac's like, I want to get out. Oh, and of course, a nice spam hitting these scouts who are trying to enter mid. I've never seen a mid so denied on the Sunshine map. My god.
Yeah, playing for insurance. They really don't want to make a slip up there.
He's that's just the fake bomb though. Where's the real guy? Duo, oh, he got caught in a little skirmish of his own. Couldn't really play it off the distraction and damage of Callback there. So things can calm down a bit, and Feint like a bit of calm right now. They are 1 round up, and we're entering that danger time zone there where some silly mistakes will be forced out of top 5 rocket here because they're desperate.
Yeah, certainly. So they're definitely on the back foot here, and going to need to pull out something pretty big if they want to break down Feint, who are eagerly waiting for a slip up here. 3 minutes left to tick down on their part, and this map is theirs. But top 5 definitely not going to go down without a fight as they make their way collectively into this flower area.
They say the greatest pressure makes the greatest of diamonds. Let's see if top 5 rocket come out shining like a diamond, or if they end up crumbling into dust, as they will get an equalising pick between these two roamers. But it's not really in the play for top 5 rocket. They need something bigger. They need something flashier and something they can work with. They're actually going to have to work with an Ubercharge attack, as they have lost Elacore, their star man, and midpoint as well. And Feint Gaming, all they need to know here is just take the freebies, take the easy wins here, and they should be secured a little Sunshine map.
Yeah, Feint, again, playing for insurance. They had Vanny in lobby for those sacks coming in and just made it near impossible for top 5 to capitalise, and they are pushing forward in spite of that 2-player advantage up. Do lose Opti in the fray and Yeehaw, so we're going to elect for a mid-hold here. And top 5's, of course, gonna have to look to convert a few more points here with their 1-player advantage.
Well, they throw duo in, but not everybody was looking in the same direction. Callback follows up, though, gets the pick onto Vanny, so top 5rocket have one thing on their mind: keep Moolah alive. They can capture second point while they do it, but they know that they want Moolah's head at this point. He is the deciding factor of whether or not this round wins or loses.
Yeah, certainly so. They know they have the heal advantage. Vanny only just now coming up for Feint on last is met up with Voxy, so looks like they're playing it perhaps a bit slower than they should, and those stickies are a bit of an unknown quantity from Mac on the Valley area, but top 5 going to take the space pretty cleanly. And Feint going to have to fortify themselves on last with some defensive off classes, trying to scramble for their Uber charge, but ultimately they're not going to have time.
They're pushing from lower. They're already trying to set up stickies for this last point. They've Ubered in now. They've essentially been cleaned up. The point is absolutely peppered with stickies, however. They can't really cap it out, and they haven't really focus fired anything past the sentry gun, though. So top 5rocket are going to be hard pushed to make this fight work. A Hugo pick is a good step in the right direction, but there's just so much HP on Feint Gaming to deal with, and not enough firepower, Meer.
Yeah, certainly not. Top 5 just couldn't quite get in there, couldn't shut them down. Feint did a really stellar job of just dispersing really, really quickly. And with 40 seconds left on the clock, they're just looking to make it a bit more awkward for top 5 if they want any sort of chance of sealing this out.
Yeah, they have an Uber charge, but I think if you're Feint Gaming, you kind of just want to plant your medic in your butts at last and just don't take any major risks here. They're on top of Annie, though. They get a bit of damage onto him. Still doesn't want to pop, though. This man will not pop under any condition, it seems. And they are still continuing the push. Top 5rocket digging deep. The soldier plays are actually not working out for them. They actually force off the Uber now. They got their own Uber charge on top 5rocket, but it's just not going to be able to meet and match this demand. Yeehaw does go down to the Neo Scout. Voxy, Mr. Stats, needs to kind of keep this point defended, and he has. It will be a map victory for Feint Gaming on their map choice.
Yeah, Feint were just being a bit of a stick in the mud, just making it really, really awkward for them. Nice air shot from Opti onto Duo as well. Took both of them out of the fight pretty early on there as well. But in spite of the pretty close scoreline, the game very much looked to be in Feint's hands throughout there.
Let's see if the stats agree. I'm already working my way to logs.tf. I'm trying to find it. Let's sort by EP, and I don't even need to look at it. I already know who's going to be at the top there. Just winning or losing, Elacor always has a foothold on this damage stat. Hugo, though, tracing quite closely behind. I thought Mac would be kind of more up there, but I think he's taking more times out compared to his French compadre.
Yeah, I think he's sort of taking a backseat, just playing for the survivability. Ultimately, what they pulled off a lot better than top 5 was just keeping Vanny alive, stopping Vanny from falling victim to the sack waves there. It didn't work all the time, but it did work at those all critical moments that helped them seal out the rounds they needed.
An interesting stat. You don't see this every day, Meer, but the medic that died the least ended up losing the game. Usually the team that's kind of keeping their medic alive, and just it goes to show how well they're rotating and just keeping and preserving their little fights and their transitions here. Say it ain't so. It's still not the one that's going to cap out rounds, it seems. Feint Gaming, despite losing Vanny a few times and dropping him there, came out clutch.
Yeah, I mean, a 2-death game, though impressive, not the most surprising based on the sort of pace we were looking at there. No real full wipes coming out of either teams. Pretty insurance-based play from both sides. But yeah, some pretty, the numbers definitely reflect the game state we were witnessing there.
Otherwise, I'm not really seeing too many outliers here. Maybe Hugo having a more impressive soldier performance than everybody else in the server. Although, I tip my hat to Korvac. He did have some nice rockets, some bits and moments and bobs between all these things. And Opti, I mean, he was doing all right. I don't think, usually I can't sing Opti's praises enough, but it didn't really feel like they need to lean on his gameplay too much there. It felt like
it was all impact, TurboTabs. It was all impact.
Yeah.
It's a shame Space Made is not to be witnessed here.
I think it's just been a game of mid fights, really. those sort of mid fights that got transferred out really quickly before that one round that was like a minute long, and then some of these other games were just slowed down a little bit. All the rounds were slowed down just from Fate winning the initial mid.
Yeah, certainly. So it looked like Feint really consistently putting top five on the back foot, always sort of egging them to push either in or out of second, pretty much throughout the entire game. And then the last odds out of both teams were pretty decent, and it took something special from either side to eventually manage to break their way in and sort of get that last cap going. I'd argue this second map we're going to see here should be able to cap last with a greater degree of success than you would see on Sunshine, but that is left to be seen.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it. We alluded a little bit that these two teams were meeting up, and it was almost like Groundhog Day, where so many details are the same. But this is one of those details that don't really match the previous time they met up. They were playing on Metalworks, but they must have a bad taste in their mouth over on Top 5 Rocket. They don't want to ever see that map again, so they've actually opted to pick Gully Wash here. Uh, is this the wise decision here, Meer, or do you think you would have preferred if they took another crack at Metalworks?
Um, from my perspective, I would say Feint are relying quite heavily on their scouts throughout this, particularly for the survivability of their medic. Um, and I think a map a bit more close quarters like this, um, a little bit of med speed zipping back and forth. I think this could in fact end up playing to the credit of Feint in the second map here.
Okay, interesting. So you think this is going to be a quick 2-0, just like
I don't want
reminiscent?
it to be. I don't want Feint to take it in two, but I think looking at what we've seen, both teams played a gully warm up to varying degrees of success, and I think Feint are going to take this in two potentially here. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, right now it's the overall storyline beats are hitting the same from the first map. There was quite a bit of back and forth. It was all really quite impressive from Top 5 Rocket to say that that was the first map choice of Faint Gaming and how competitive they could make it. And then so it led me into like optimistic views for Top 5 Rocket going into their second map. So I mean, but I feel like a fool if I just end up having the same just opt to just the happy side of it, really, if I going into this sort of timeline again. So I really don't want to say it's going to be a 2-0 map, but I think it might be, especially because when the pressure's turned up, these players like to slow down, and when things are slowing down, Faint seem to be the stronger team.
Yeah, certainly. They definitely control the pace of the game a little bit better. So if top five can secure a nice early round, and sort of move the shoe onto the other foot, I think it would serve them pretty well in this. It's all momentum based because we all know it's a bit of playoffs mode. Nerd Rage, Real Masters at it themselves. Um, really keen to sort of control the pace of the game, make sure everything happens from the moment they're one round up happens on their terms, and that's ultimately what you're going to want to close out these maps nice and cleanly.
That the glimmer of hope I have here going into this map for Top 5 Rocket was that second round that they won, where things were going very much against the cookie cutter TF2, and there was so much going on, so many sort of calculations that really could have been tossed up, or like whether or not you should push, you shouldn't push. And I feel like Top 5 Rocket thrived the most in those sort of scenarios. You saw so much clutch coming out of not only Elocore, but like Callback and all these other players. And you do see Feint kind of falling a little bit short, just a bit of overextensions and bits and whatnot. Maybe you saw it cleaned up a bit towards the tail end when they know they had that lead, but it looks like if they're going to win on Top 5 Rocket, they're going to have to get an early lead and they're going to have to keep it chaotic despite having that early lead.
Yeah, certainly. So they always seem to sort of come out on top in the chaotic fights. And when Feint attempted a return on that, like when they sent Yeehaw behind, when they sent Opti behind, they did a pretty stellar job of shutting those guys down, in spite of it ultimately slowing down their game plan, letting a couple of advantages slip. But they wanted and they sought out to just eliminate those unknown quantities as quickly as they could.
All right, Mia. Who am I looking at on this game? Who's like the guy that needs to pick up his game? Who needs to have a huge game or will have a huge game? Who's just your man to watch in this Gully Wash map?
I think ultimately being their map pick, you've got to look at a top five player, you know? I know
Agreed.
I've said I think Feint are going to take this. I think it's still going to be very much a back and forth. And I'm gonna have to put it down to Ellicor, who's putting up some pretty huge sort of moments and glimmers of glory. A lot of really excellent individual play, and he's going to be the one to watch for me, I think.
I'm going to go very much against the grain, not only of the map, but maybe the team itself. But I feel like it's going to come down to Neo. I feel like it's flashes in games of like just pure domination. I feel like this guy needs to, put on his little wristband. What would Clockwork do? And just start fucking barreling in, literally like, and outplaying people in that DM. I think he has it in him as well because I can see it. His ceiling is high, but whether or not he can keep touching it is another.
Yeah, certainly so. He's definitely going to try and make his mark on this game. I mean, he played pretty well to sort of in response to Feint's flank and what chaos they tried to cause. But looks like we are going to see a double ready up and the start of map 2 ultimately here. We've got Feint versus top 5 rolling out to this first mid now. It is the season 38, lower bracket finals here. And who are you watching on this mid, Turbo?
I'm watching Mac. It's all about Mac Daddy. Let's see what sort of initial damage he can start up on this mid. And he's like kind of waiting for top 5 rocket to turn up. Please, hello. I want to lay on some damage here, but I don't see anybody. They actually go aggressive against top 5 rocket. They're baiting them in, actually. They just want to go a bit proactive. Neo actually, I say he needs to channel his Clockwork. He's actually channeling his inner AA. He's going on the sniper class. Yeehaw gets picked off as well. Playing the sniper. Mac is the only one to have the final laugh on this Feint squad with a dying kill onto Duo, the only casualty of that entire mid.
I'm genuinely perplexed by what the hell happened just then. It looked like top 5 were going to get absolutely crunched when he saw the bombs coming out of Hugo and Opti, but in spite of the huge damage they did, ultimately they weren't able to convert anything. And a nice headshot from Neo ultimately sealed the deal, but that I still don't really know how that worked, to be honest with you, TurboTabs. But top 5 moving forward with the momentum, 50% uber advantage, making their way through there. They still have Neo up on this sniper. Yeehaw looking to return from Feint, but it looks like they're quite keen to draw this one out in spite of their ad.
Body shot onto the young sniper, but he would pass that point, and they will take out the sentry gun. They've got this right door on lockdown, but the heavy is coming out of the other door, and it is a scary, intimidating heavy. He's just so beefy, despite getting some pipes laid into him. They can't really finish him off, but they're focusing on him. The focal point of this point is the point itself, so they're just waiting about. They will force out Voxy to get an uber charge on this heavy class, but they're laying stickers on him. They're throwing everybody in at once. He can only shoot one player at a time, and he will go down one way or another. He buys enough time for Feint Gaming to get their respawns though, and yeah, the man dies, but the banner wins the war.
I think, in spite of how chunky Voxy on heavy was there, I think Vanny hit 2 really crucial hours there. One to keep Voxy alive for like an extra 5 seconds, and he also managed to get Ellicor in the post there. Neo seemingly a bit caught in this second now, but not being shut down, and Callback also manages to slip through in spite of his ill health.
Neo, he's manning up here. He really wants to, but his team is disconnected from him. They're shut out by these stickies of Mac, not allowing the rest of top 5 to back up their Neo scout, and he has gone down. Mac held up in the bunker there. Actually, did he just get an aggressive crossbow shot at him, Ellicor? Mac is like, well, how come I've still not had this crossbow? It's because Vanny's busy getting in the fight there.
Yeah, Mac was absolutely gagging for it there, and ultimately is the first to go down in that fight. So Feint pretty weak coming into this, of course, without the demo support. Going to look to apply a bit of pressure on point with their 80% uber advantage, and the bomb does come out of Duo. He lands right on top of Vanny's head and gets the 4 so cleanly there. They just could not shut him down fast enough. Just, jumping on the shoulders of Vanny there, just making it so easy for himself.
Feint Gaming, they're not disillusioned though. They're going to throw one soldier in, but it's so hard to get a bomb off. Oh, actually no, because they sneaked Yeehaw in. Yeehaw was inside waiting for Paul Mueller to take shelter in the bunker, and it was just him and him. They will lose their medic over on top 5 rocket. Feint Gaming now just need to keep Vanny alive, and I think they can convert this back.
Yeah, certainly. So these 2 soldier spawners certainly going to serve them well. Yeehaw also seemingly getting the forwards, which should serve them pretty well. So 45% uber advantage net for them. and they are, sort of 0-0. They're not on the back foot. They're not on the front foot, but they're going to have to look to make something happen here, as they have a couple of advantages in their hands. Top 5 just set up on the point, looking to apply a little bit of pressure wherever Feint's push may lie. And you actually see Duo sort of surfing above this big door now that gets caught out near instantly.
That's going to be a bit reassuring. Actually, both teams losing some players apiece there. I feel like Feint Gaming are going to be happy with it. Oh, okay, well, Voxy just takes a pipe to the face, so that can't be going to plan. They actually just back out there without any sort of capping classes. It's a bit redundant to start capping out the midpoint, so they just back out. Probably the wise decision.
Yeah, seemingly so. They just didn't have the scout there to support them in getting out, but top 5 have managed to make their way in, and they're trying to lock out Feint from their own second here. Applying pretty huge pressure. Elikor and Cormac in. The high bomb does come out. Lands straight on the head of Fanny, but Dwo's in behind and gets the force so easily there.
But they're just being rotated though, and oh no, a drop coming out from Muller, and I mean it was already looking really bad from that previous position anyway, because they dedicated that flank to forcing out poor Vanny. They just had no flank left to held off against that Uber charge, so they just went into mid, started laying fire on them as well. Sure, they had an Uber charge, but they lost a few players on that flank side. There was nothing really to work with the Uber with, and yeah, it's just and then the cherry on top, the drop.
Yeah, I mean a real swing there. They lost so many players in that exchange there, in spite of getting the force. And then it all just sort of soured from them. They had so many numbers down, and the pressure ultimately too much. Mulo going down. Not ideal, but I'm not sure they would have been able to do too much had they popped. And Feint looking to go in pretty quick through the shutter. Voxy getting dropped instantly there. It is just a solo on Mac, and they call it off pretty sharpish there. As top 5 themselves just 20% away from the Uber charge themselves.
It's a very mature call there to just see that things went so disastrously for this Uber when you really need a lot of things to go right. You've got not only the sentry going to do it, but the pyro, the position, the fact that you're playing a gully wash map. It is a difficult last to deal with, so they want everything to just be crisp and perfect for Feint Gaming before they make this push in.
I mean, ultimately they sort of tempted top 5 into a push out there with their Uber advantage, but Opti commit into lobby and got a really huge early kill onto Elikor, and Cormac going down as well with his attempted high bomb. Does mean that Feint, in spite of these Ubers, you sort of equalising in the next 10 seconds. They're going to have another sort of crack at the egg, albeit slightly more awkward than the last time around.
So they still have an Uber advantage on top5rocket, but they can't really do anything with it. I think they're just worried about any sort of background shenanigans, or just getting kited out in this sort of weird tunnels of Gully Wash connector. So now with Uber's even a piece between both of these teams, they start prepping. They start holding these doors a bit closer, seeing if they can maybe get a player cheekily in places. Voxy's already in water now, and Opti's thrown himself in, and they're trying to play a bit of point play. Voxy mans up against the Demoman to stop him from stepping onto the point. Almost works, but there's just too many top 5 rocket players to throw at that point.
Oh no!
Oh, Duo getting in behind, forcing out the Uber out of Vanny, so even all of those little shenanigan players can't really be capitalised in an Uber push.
Yeah, QB gets completely chunked twice in a row, once by Yeehaw and then by Hugo, but in all of that chaos, Duo managed to get in and get the force onto Vanny, so sort of brooding in the chaos there, but sort of top 5 ultimately coming out on top that time around, but Feint still got a bit of a stronghold on this lobby.
That's a nice place for Soldier to stand there, and top 5 rocket feeling a bit sheepish despite having an Uber advantage. Don't want to push in here. Wait, what? Wait, what? How come the Uber got used? What?
They popped it into river, but Feint just slipped out so quickly, and it was just a complete waste because the soldier jumped behind them, created the distraction, and then it was over. It was over before it started, really.
Well,
so they've just handed Feint an Uber advantage in exchange for just one sort of player disad on their part, and they're up already. So 50% Uber advantage, and they are not going to slouch about this time around. And Voxy hopefully not going to get dropped to this same stickies on shutter.
Watch it happen now, 100%. Oh no, they're popping super early
Super
now.
early.
Mac, though, takes a little trip to the other side of the map. Does get not only the sentry gun, but Neo as well. So a nice little 2-for-1 bonus. Already laying some good damage onto the heavy weapons guy. It's looking pretty good for Fane. They have one final boss to deal with. That's Elacor in the bunker. He's going to be very, very, very screwed, I think, between all of these Feint players. And there we go. The round is on the board for Feint. There was no doubt.
That was seemingly a pretty disastrous start to that Uber charge from Feint, because not only did Mac get blottoed away by that sticky trap, but it also managed to kill Hugo completely blind. So, really good recovery from them. Getting the full wipe onto top 5 certainly going to serve them well, and they're in the position they want to be in. This is the position we said top 5 do not want to see in the early part of this game, and they're just going to have to look to return here.
Don't you hate it being in a world where Elacor has as much attention as he has? Not only was he spammed out by soldiers, but scouts fire as well. Callback is the first one to die on our mid as things have gone completely full chaos, and there you go, top 5 rocket playing off the chaos. The scouts get to do what they want. Neo, he's starting to believe, and he will shoot down Vanny, and whew, easy 5-man for the Neo man.
Yeah, I'd say those are my top 5 kills on that mid. Coming out of going out of Neo there, as they get into second pretty cleanly there. And, you know, going to look to sort of use this momentum going into last. They've got an 80% Uber advantage, and the ball very much in their court as Feint sort of scrabble once again, get some defenses going.
Well, you know what happens when you're on a defense on Gully Wash. You get your demo man behind point, and they know about this. They actually pop in Uber, and they send some players in the water immediately. A plan to deal with Mac during all of this, and it's going okay so far. They haven't got many players to deal with all the aggression at top, though, so it is kind of barreling it completely all in on the water gameplay. QB does sneak his way into the point a different way, and believe it or not, Meer, it worked.
Yeah, that was chaos. It looked like it was souring for top 5 at a couple different moments there. But the fact that they were able to convert that round so quickly after Feint put one on the board against them means that they're not giving any momentum up here. And I can imagine they're going to hope to replicate that level of success on this next mid here. Hopefully Neo might get 6 this time.
Mac turns up to mid, pre-spamming a place that has no blue players on it. So top 5 rocket already in a nice position to deal with all these oncoming spam. Elacor, nice turnaround kill, just needs to get healed back up, and it's like all that pressure never really happened. Neo, though, he smells them. He needs to get on top of them.
No.
But Elacor goes down during all this in the sort of huge flank that he was playing. He left his poor demo man alive. I mean, to the wolves. Neo,
Yes.
2 scouts versus 1 scout. Now they're picking on his medic as well. Won't they think of the poor medic? Oh, Moolah, he's so low. Oh, Foxy even picks off Neo. So, oh, it's cruel.
That was pretty disastrous out of top 5. It looked like they were expecting Feint to just keep backing him back in, so they wanted to wrap around Big Door, and then they turn around and Feint had just sat on point with 2 scouts just staring at him. So not the most comfortable position to be in, pushing with the potential to be sandwiched by the spawners coming out of Feint. So they managed to lock that mid out. It's equal Ubers here. Everyone is up, but Opti and Yeehaw are behind, causing a little bit of a ruckus for Neo and Duo here.
Oh man. Neo does deal with the pest, though. He's still got another one to deal with. Yeehaw playing the health pack, but Neo realizes he doesn't need to deal with that guy immediately because Hugo went down as well. I think they're winning the fight plenty out there, and yeah, they're just kind of doing almost the same sort of medicine treatment for Feint Gaming. They push from choke, they stop trying to get behind them there. Ubers have been exchanged between both of these teams. It's a little awkward as not everybody knows really what they're doing in this post-Uber. Feint Gaming should be sitting pretty because they... Oh, QB, nice turnaround kill.
Oh no, the 2-shot! That's 2 shots! Oh my god, and he cleans up Elacor in conjunction with Opti as well. That was huge. The flank was just so unfortunate. Sort of Neo turned around at just the right time, but then just gets completely crunched. That was huge.
The bravado and sort of balls on top 5 rocket to make that work, though. They didn't have the forward respawn and the respawn advantage like Feint Gaming did, and I don't want to say it came into trumps there because Scouts were kind of just like pew-pewing all over the place and probably would have won that either way. But yeah, they've just snowballed it completely to last and win out the second round for themselves.
Yeah, a real a change of pace here, seeing 2 rounds in pretty quick succession after sort of the slow pace that was opted for on Sunshine here. So Feint 2 rounds on the board to top 5 Rockets 1. Top 5 are going to look to make their way back into the game in these remaining 16 minutes.
Okay, Vanny being pressured, but he's not going to really sweat about taking some early pressure. He's going to heal that up quickly. With Mac going down, however, the top 5 Rocket just needs to kind of blob up a bit, and the blob will just have a bit more firepower punch to them. But the Scouts are opting to go for these 2v1 pushes much earlier. Elikor, I mean, he's good, but he's not, 1v2 Scouts good.
Yeah, he managed to battle off 2 soldiers on the last mid, but ultimately 2 scouts coming too good for him. Feint closing out that mid, but Moolah surviving does mean that top 5 going to be able to put up a fight on this second point. But Yeehaw, again, he's looking to sort of be the skeleton in the closet of top 5 Rocket and be a bit of a nuisance.
Well, this skeleton has been sent to the morgue. He will go down, and I think that was just not the same wavelength in that one sort of instance. I think he wanted to weasel out a way to keep fighting there, and the rest of Feint Gaming just wanted to get out. Top 5 Rocket, they're just kind of letting Feint go in. Oh, well, they want him to go in because Opti was just going to go down to a sticky trap there. I see now.
Certainly well anticipated. Ubers have equalised, 1 soldier missing from either side, but top 5 making their way in, and the headshot from Yeehaw.
Oh no! You don't expect a sniper from that position, and Elikor was just trying to go for some cheeky damage and maybe some sort of turnaround play, but he's been turned upon. With Neo does kind of hold out of this choke area, and they're doing the wraparound play again, but this time it's like a little back cap, and they've rotated way too much. The midpoint has been blocked, so it looks like they will be losing this capping war on second point. So you get back capped by not only a scout but a sniper as well. And Uber charges come out onto the scout and sniper. Nothing more scarier than a bright, shiny sniper. And Yeehaw, it's like he's invisible. Nobody's really addressing him during all of this.
Yeah, he really capitalised well on Dwo being down. He knew there wasn't a soldier waiting in that big door, and that just got the pick they needed onto Elikor to bust their way into second, and it served them pretty well, getting another headshot again onto Dwo, and he is still running it here, understandably so. Seems to be working, but it looks like he might actually be going back to spawn, but Dwo has actually chased him back to mid, which that is quite funny.
Man, that is some serious hate there. I'm surprised they're not typing to each other over that.
I certainly would. If I managed to slip out of last and go all the way to the enemy team's forward spawns while my team's holding, I think my team would have some chosen words to say. So Feint coming in with their Uber advantage now.
Elikor goes down immediately, though. Not what you're hoping for if you're a demo man holding in the God Spot, and the God Spot has betrayed him. 3-1 is the scoreline for Feint Gaming. It's looking a bit cushy with just 12 minutes on this map.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time to play with still, but top 5 are definitely going to have to make some slightly more risky plays, because Feint are just lying dormant waiting for a mistake. They can play the insurance game at this point. 2 rounds up is a really cushy position to be in, particularly when you're already a map up in a series.
Top 5 Rocket playing quite reactive on these mids. They want Feint Gaming to kind of choke themselves and throw themselves in, and it seems to be the opposite for this mid as the double bomb play. Oh my god, the turnaround from Feint Gaming to actually pick up the pieces of this dog shit mid, and Voxy's on the hunt. He wants to get this pick onto the medic, but I can't find him. There we go. Actually, Yeehaw beats him to the punch, and Voxy's not going to like that. He's like, that's going to ruin my head-to-head, son.
Yeah, certainly so. So, Dwo had a really excellent initiation onto that mid, getting into Feint, going up, drop down, getting 2 frags, and Feint are like, I'm not going to let this guy ruin our mid. And then they all commit forward, managed to get a few frags, ultimately getting Moolah, which is exactly what they wanted. Now, Vanny himself up with a 40% advantage. They lock out that mid, just missing Voxy for the time being.
Call back. They're holding closer to choke, but they need to keep in the back of their minds that Vanny will have this Uber charge somewhat soon, and if they're aware that they're holding close, Feint Gaming will not be shy about popping this Uber. But
Certainly
will
not.
they? Have they got the calculators out there, Meer, or have you do you think they've lost their concentration just a bit?
I'd like to think, this being their map, they've got a game plan going into this, you know? I mean, Muller is linked up with on a leash with Neo, so he can zip out there pretty quickly once Callback sounds the alarms in Choke or Duo in Big Door, respectively. Feint actually are allowing these Ubers to equalize, and they want top 5 to make the first move, make the mistakes, so they can just come in, hopefully better off and crush them, roll with some momentum, wait for some mistakes.
QB digging deep, going for the sniper play. And I like it. You need to get proactive. You've got 2 rounds to kind of claw back in a lower bracket final with just 10 minutes left. That doesn't feel like the most time in the world. Oh, nice snipe onto Opti. But they are still just rocking a sniper though. It does give him a bit more room to play with. Oh, with callback going down, and the second point kind of compromised as well. They're crawling with Feint players that they can't really make a play. They Uber to keep the sniper and Demoman alive, and Foxy's got a big fat single on him, and he's just trying to just shoot at any players that hasn't been Ubered during all this, and it works out. QB, he's got more sightlines on the medic, but hasn't quite got the bullets for him. Elikor getting greedy, holding that chokeway, but Mac is the captain of the doorway, will get the kill onto Elikor. They could potentially snowball this into last Meer.
Yeah, that was really huge coming out of then. Just the sort of sniper initially doing huge work, just sort of sword for them, and Mac going a bit aggressive before the rest of his team gets picked off pretty early by Duo, but it's more than enough adequate distraction for Feint to get their way in. And now they're 3 rounds ahead with 9 minutes left. Top 5, this game definitely slipping out of their hands.
Yeah, if 1 round is the close one, 2 round is the cushion, I think 3 rounds is like the soul crusher. That's the one where you feel it slipping out of your hands and it just hurts a bit more. The 4th round, I feel like maybe they're just gonna feel like the game's already run away with, but they've moved on at this point. Let's see if they can switch back to a cushion as they are entering another mid-fight, and the mid-fights have been kind of here or there for both of these teams, even in early or later points of it. Feint Gaming looking strong to start off, but their defensive stance over on top5rocket and their mids, they're actually running Kritzkrieg, you know, remind you, going into this midpoint. So if they can hold out long enough in their defensive style, they've got a bit of quick clap to kind of dish out. Muller doing a great job of dodging all of that fire from Yeehaw. Does go down, however, to the Hugo Rocket. No crits today, my friend.
Yeah, Muller just got penned in that corner, and it just made Hugo's job a little bit easy in spite of Muller's sort of good dodging and survivability for the bulk of that mid there. So Feint net themselves a full Uber advantage, and their health really not good for top 5, and Duo going down pretty early on there.
This is the point where I start to be a bit forgiven for mistakes that are coming out of top5rocket here, because you just start making these silly mistakes, not out of, you know, just like mistakes, but just out of necessity. You want to just kind of keep rolling the dice and hope it comes up, but they have weighted dice here. Feint Gaming are just keep pulling snake eyes against poor top5rocket.
Yeah, seemingly so. Game is very much in their hands right now, and they're making it look sort of completely polarized to what we saw in that first map. And top 5 just trying to create a little bit of chaos, but Feint just shutting them down so quickly. They just haven't got the health ever. Elikor is the only unknown quantity as it stands waiting in this river area. Wants to try and shut down the cap there with so many players down on his side, but gets shut down by Max rollout. Drops a bit of a taunt on him. And Feint seemingly going to net yet another round. Is this concede time, TurboTabs?
Oh, this is the soul. This is like the 3rd round was the soul crushing one. This 3rd round gap, but this 4th round gap, this is the one where you just kind of feel like, yeah, I know it's coming, it's happening, but we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going.
I mean, 2 teams that have been, you know, so close throughout the season. You know, losing to win difference is really not ideal.
Well, I mean, we're into another mid. Maybe they can still dig deep here. There have been bigger comebacks that have happened in the game of TF2, and it is the Gully Wash. It has quick rounds, so then they've started off well. They've kept their medic alive. They're capping out the point. They're already pushing second here. The only downside is that they have a lot of Feint Gaming players to chew through. They are just entering the meat grinder because they need to play greedy with this. If they can win out this fight at choke without expending their Uber charge, well, which they don't have, by the way, they could maybe snowball this into last.
Oh,
Some nice little rockets to keep giving that little bit of fool's hope left for top 5 rocket, but it's just poor Elecor left, and he's just but a single man with a single firing gun. Too many players to bite off and chew against. Oh, doesn't make a nice little turnaround pipe against some Feint players, and the cavalry has come back, but oh, he goes down to the peppering final shot of Voxy, and they're just playing it cool here on Feint Gaming. They're not going and biting off more than they have to because they know that they will win this come enough time.
yeah, I mean, it's the caster's favourite term, isn't it? Mathematically possible for top 5 coming into this, but practically probably not going to happen. Feint are going to have some serious slip-ups here and a different sort of change in form. Did QB just go in and try and wrap assassin the medic?
I don't even know what that was supposed to be. Neo's rocked up a sniper. It hurts. It feels like I'm watching somebody on life support here, and they're starting to flatline here. We're gonna have to pull the plug, but we're just giving it its final huzzah before we do. 5 minutes left. Again, like you said, I'm gonna say it, mathematically possible, but very soul-crushingly improbable as Duo goes down into the 5-man mix. They just really are throwing everybody and the kitchen sink at this meat grinder. They popped off the Uber to keep Korvac alive, and Vanny, believe it or not, popped off that Uber on like 10 HP or so they can't catch a break here, it seems, on top 5 rocket. Nothing seems to be going their way, and the machine has to keep going here, Meer.
It certainly does. I think they need to start giving Neo some Sandblast Ubers and it would turn this game around for top 5, but my wish is not going to be granted today, and the collapse from Feint is just huge.
Yeah, and everyone's just playing off each other's damage so well. Oh my god, a little flank coming out from Hugo as well. Stop it! Stop it! They're already dead!
Yeah, playing for a bit of pride, top 5 here. They really don't want to lose it to win difference after going peg for peg with Feint throughout this whole season, really. But, you know, it's about not letting the game slip, playing for pride. But I have already seen 2 concedes in the chat, so I think this might be over. And top 5 let go, stop. They tap out from Feint Gaming's pressure, and you know, Feint Gaming now take it in 2.
The only game in the universe where a 5-0 is worse than a 5-1. So with the concede coming out from the Frenchies, it does ultimately mean that Feint Gaming have won out in this lower bracket final. They will be our nominated champion to deal on with Nerd Rage, the big bad scary boss at the end of the tunnel, and we say a salute to our French compadres. Top 5 rocket are out, and they will not be forgotten because it has been a great series to watch.
Certainly has. I mean, top 5 still finishing that top 3, which is nothing to grumble about. They net themselves a hefty prize pot of €300 for themselves, and Feint are going to have another crack at the egg with Nerd Rage having lost to them last week over 2 maps. Of course, Nerd Rage definitely the ones to beat here, have been real dominant throughout the season, but the only team to take a map off them thus far has been Feint. So are they going to come good this time and make their mark?
Well, as much as we talk about the most important number, which is the prize pool, let's talk about some other numbers as well. Let's talk about these logs.
It looks like Hugo might have had a little bit of a fat one. He was very much running circles around top 5, 25 to 16 with 370 DPM, besting both demo men and leaving all of the other soldiers in the server in the dust. That's a pretty impressive metric.
Yeah, Gullywash is a biased temptress, and she does love a good soldier. But Voxy, though, almost trying to make a case. Look at this guy. 33 kills, 9 deaths. The man is, he is trying to take the stat king.
Yeah, I mean, those are definitely going to beef up his head for heads. So might be sort of leaps and bounds ahead of Yeehaw coming off the back of this, but he didn't do too bad himself. 22 to 14 with 300 DPM. Certainly applying a lot of pressure in these team fights, doing a good job for his team, and they work pretty well in conjunction as well, keeping Vanny alive at those all critical times.
And Vanny, his ears must be burning when we were talking about his def differentiate compared to Mueller's in that first map. He has turned it around. He is now almost half, well, definitely half, more than half than Mueller's def count in this second map. But I guess we can also maybe forgive top5rocket for some of these stats here, because a lot of it is that sort of desperation time, those final rounds where you're just trying to throw anything and everything to hope for a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, the one that's really lucky is obviously the space made an impact stats. Ultimately, is Opti would have the best stats out of any player in Prem, should those be in, but I'm holding out for now. But a very, very telling of the game state again. Fate just looking like a different league.
All right. Oh wow! I can't believe
Interviews.
it. I have one of those. I've not heard of an interview for a long time. We must be in the playoff, ladies and gentlemen. So let's put the stats away. Let's dust off the old microphones and let's try our best to remember all those questions we asked such an age ago in our interview stage. So obviously we are going to welcome in some members of Fane Gaming. I think we have Yeehaw with us. We have Hugo with us. Welcome, boys. Welcome to the channel. I'm not sure if you've muted by us or by yourselves, but how are you feeling?
Pretty nice, yeah.
All right.
Well, you sound very indifferent, but that gameplay was quite dominating, quite impressive. Are you guys was this always the plan? Was it always going to come about this easy, do you reckon? Or were you guys expecting more of a big fight going into it?
I thought we would have better luck on Sunshine, because Gullywash was sort of their map. Like in the season, I think we got 6-1 by them, but we kind of turned the tables on them on Gully, which was nice.
How about you, Yeehaw? Did your expectations get met in this game, or was anything kind of surprising?
Yeah, I'm just happy with the way my team played. I'm proud of my boys.
Now, you guys have actually met up against each other a lot now. Obviously, once during the season, once in the first round, and now again tonight. Is it nice kind of playing off against a team like this to see where your improvements are made and in that sort of respect? Or do you not like playing like these sort of players? Do you not like having these sort of histories with one another?
I mean, I don't mind. It's just part of what you gotta deal with when you're playing a important match. It's just a part of the dealing with nerves thing. So.
How about you,
I mean,
Hugo?
it's just like a kids game, so I don't really care as well.
It was it was nice because we had super tight game against them on Metal. I remember first round of playoffs. I think it was 30-minute round and we capped in the last 5 seconds. But yeah, it's nice to see that we're winning more confidently.
The maps did change this time around. Were you guys shocked that they actually ended up picking some different maps, or were you expecting it after how their Metalworks went in the first round?
To be honest, we did the map talks halfway through a map we were playing in a scrim. So it was kind of we didn't think through every pick.
Fair play, fair play. So you were just so interested that your core gameplay was going to work no matter what map was being picked, basically.
I mean, we still tried to pick, but
we just have a couple choice maps. We really like Product and Sun. But outside of that, we sort of just it's sort of oh, whatever map we get. We just tried to get ones that we're more comfortable on.
Yeah, it wasn't a really big. I felt like we would win most maps. It's not like we had to pick our map or we'd lose.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I didn't have that vibe.
I know you Prem players. You're all a bunch of perfectionists. Even though the scoreline did look quite favourably tonight for you guys, and you did win it in a clean 2 maps. Are you guys still kind of unhappy about any point of your gameplays? Was there anything oh man, I really wish we did X?
Probably would have been nicer if I win harder on Sunshine. But apart from that, I think we played well on Gully overall. And like we didn't even make that many mistakes on Sun. It was just like a slow game, and they played well as well.
How about you, Yeehaw? Any regrets?
I didn't get much sleep, probably affected my gameplay, but at the end of the day we won, so I'll just have to sleep for grand final, I guess.
Do you reckon 8 hours will be enough to take down Nerd Rage? Is that what we're going to see?
No, I'm sleeping from now till the grand final.
Right, okay, fair enough,
Hibernation.
mate,
Wow.
fair enough. Are you going to take it? How many maps are you going to take it over Nerd Rage?
It's best of 5 in it.
Yeah.
Go 3 then.
Okay. Nah, that's fine talk. I love it.
How much are you guys, going back to like the demos or going to the map talks or anything in preparations with Nerd Rage, or are you guys just confident that whatever you are right now is going to
We
do
probably
it?
do like 1 demo review a day. Like, so I know some other teams they can get away with not doing it, but like at the start of the season we were really bad, so we just had to grind the demos.
How about you, Hugo? Do you feel like you guys are ready for Nerd Rage, or do you think you need to spend a bit more time in that hibernation chamber with Yeehaw?
I think no matter what, like I think we only have 3 days till we play, so
Not much time.
whether we're ready or not, it's like time pressured, you know. You just have to grind as much as you can in like the next 3 days.
I've got one final question, and then I'm done. Which is it's kind of an outlier question that you don't really ask, but in these final moments of like grand finals coming up, and you have to scrim obviously between here and then, does the scrims like drop in quality a little bit? Because a lot of teams kind of put down their time. There's not many people left to play now. I guess the only people you've got left to play now is like Nation Cup teams. Is that gonna be? Does that ever impact things? Do you ever feel?
Yeah,
like...
we're struggling to find like good scrims. I guess just the top teams fit to play us like a bit, but we can get some good mixes going that are like better than any team in Prem anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, at least you got the Nations Cup. That's got to be something, right?
I think with the Nations Cup, everyone on like the top 3 teams plays on our team, because like Opti leads France, Voxy leads Germany, and Mac is on the English team, so
Oof.
we can't really scrim against them.
Aye. Well, you got any smart questions for us back there, Meer, being the analytical caster and all?
Head empty. Head empty.
That's my everyday mood. All right. Okay, boys. Yeah. You've indulged me in all my questions, and you've even indulged us in an interview, a rare treat for us on Team Fortress TV nowadays. So I'm going to treat you to an even rarer thing, a free shout-out on our little soapbox here. We're going to start in alphabetical order, so Hugo, if you've got any special people out there, keep it Christian, please.
I'll shout out to Hempus, that's about it.
How about you, Heehaw?
Shout out to my team, shout out to Dermo, shout out to Thomas, shout out to George Floyd, shout out to his family, shout out to me.
Nice. Meer, have you got anything to follow up with our little player shout-outs?
I'm good. Thanks for everyone watching. Thanks for the teams for playing, providing us this content. Good luck in the finals, boys.
All right. I'm going to head on over to Team Fortress TV, not only to find the hottest and coolest forum posts and news pieces and action about the Team Fortress 2 community, but also check if we've got any upcoming events that I need to talk about. And I don't see any, so... oh, wait, of course, we need to talk about DreamHack. DreamHack has a little tournament coming up for the EU region. That's us, you guys. Wow. So maybe you should think about signing up, even if the teams are kind of struggling to scrim right now. But ignore that part of the interview. Yeah, we've got a DreamHack tournament. If you want to sign up, get a team going, who knows? You could be winning some fat dollar actual dollars, even though we're in EU region. Don't get confused. I know it's very confusing. Anyway, otherwise, I'm going to give a big shout out to everybody at home for watching. You're the reason we do this. Big shout out to obviously all of the Team Fortress TV staff working hard behind the scenes. And speaking of behind the scenes, big fat shout out to Beta, who not only was doing the production this evening, probably going to go ahead winning cast of the season as well, but probably doing another frag video in the midst of all this as well. What a multi-man talented he is. Otherwise, a big shout out from me, TurboTabs, a big thank you, and a big thank you to my co-caster Meer as well. Big shout out to Yeehaw and Hugo, who joined us on the interview stage. Thank you very much, guys. And a big shout out to Feint Gaming EU and top5rocket, and congratulations to Feint Gaming. They will be facing off in our upcoming game of Nerd Rage versus Feint Gaming, and we'll see who wins out this big ETF2L Season 38 in our grand final coming up soon. Team Fortress TV is where you'll find the details. See you there.
Cheers, gang.